Start us off with an opening statement on that.
Yeah, obviously, look, pleased to get through. I think the first game can sometimes feel like the hardest. A credit to North Florida. We kind of knew what they were about, and they've had a really good second half to the season. I think it would have been easy for perhaps the untrained eye to think, 7-7-4 record, maybe not the best conference, not a familiar name brand. But we knew what we'd seen on tape, and we knew they were very good at possessing the ball, very good in some of their patterns and the way they progress through the thirds. So part of our message was to understand that, when you play a team like that, sometimes you have to be accepting that you won't have the ball as much as we like to. That was certainly the case in the second half. Be comfortable without the ball, but then also be really, really clinical in transitions. I think there'll be some things we'll see where we probably can improve in that area. But at the same time, not everyone can be an oil painting. I remember struggling a little bit against Vermont last year in the run, so it's very, very rare that you're going to play your best football all the time. And to be fair to the group, we've been in fantastic form. I think our postseason form in the conference was outstanding. And some days you just got to kind of get through it. We know that we're frustrated or otherwise. We're in this part of the draw right now, or this part of the tournament where you really got to grind it out, and we have a really big 4 days, including today. And by hook or by crook, we have to find a way to get through Virginia, and then the guys can get a little bit of rest and hopefully prep for a Sweet 16 game.
Dan, was Marcus's goal one of those clinical moments in transition?
Thankfully, yeah, really good finish at a tight angle. We'd had a few good situations before that. I thought first half was probably a little more even in terms of possession, and we showed a little bit more of our identity. To be fair, we made a tactical adjustment at half time, but then so did they. So it didn't work. I don't mind saying we got it wrong a little bit with our adjustment in terms of how we were able to develop pressure and gain some pressure, and then it was very hard to get that message onto the field in terms of making the adjustment in game is always very, very tricky. So we had to suffer a little bit to start the second half, but still looked quite dangerous in transition moments as well. And we want to be versatile enough that we can hurt teams in different ways. But yeah, another example, arguably, of not necessarily the exact way that we draw it up, but the resilience and the fortitude to overcome and get the result was there again.
Marcus, for you, it's kind of a quick turnover now to going to Virginia. What is it like for you as a player to get ready that quick on a turnaround like that?
I mean, we've been doing it all season, right? I mean, like Strat says in the locker room, that we thrive for these situations, and I think we just have to be grateful and humble that we're even playing another game, and adrenaline will kick in always, so I'm not too worried about that. So,
Dan,
Go ahead,
go ahead, buddy.
A lot of teams have backed off against you all, packed it in defensively. Does it take a little bit of time to adjust to a team that plays more similar to what you all do to make sure you can get back defensively but still develop your attack?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit tricky, right? Like, every defense is kind of different, but I mean, it helps when you have a supporting staff that takes time to put a scout together, so you don't go in there blind, right? And I give credit to Strats and Andy and all the coaching staff for that. And I mean, we practice it on the field, and the grass over there is the same as the grass over there, right? So yeah, it's easy.
Marcus, first NCAA tournament goal, if I'm not mistaken. What does it take to get into a run of form here that would help you guys continue to win?
Can I call you Taro real quick, or no? No, I mean, yeah, it's all about carrying that momentum, right? I mean, me and Serge and Felix are, I would argue, on a great run, and it's just riding that wave. And sometimes as an attacker, it's hard to ride that wave, and it can get dry sometimes, right? But no, I feel like we've been doing good, and it's just prepping the exact same way we've been doing, and taking everything extremely serious, and yeah, putting our front foot forward.
Dan, Sergio, with 15 goals this season, is the first player to do that in 29 years. I know we've talked a lot about him lately, but that's pretty significant.
So I told him Jared Smith scored 16 my junior year.
Is that right?
So don't tell him, because he's still trying. He's still trying to get to 16 or 17.
I think it was 14.
Yeah, that's fine, but yeah, please don't tell Sergio. So Sergio actually has it in his head that he has to get to 16 or 17
Gotcha, okay.
to beat Jared Smith.
Hope he doesn't watch this.
Yeah, but it was like I didn't mean to lie. I thought he genuinely got 16 goals that year, but we'll keep it that way. Now I'm intentionally lying. Now I know. No, fantastic, a fantastic and consistent year, right? And take nothing away from this young man as well. Another 2 seasons back to back, double figures. You're the stat man. You can probably tell me the last time that happened, which I couldn't tell you when
Last
that was.
season, Utaro and Marcus.
Touche. I meant him personally, back to back.
Oh, good question. I'll have to look.
Yeah, they got you. So look, it's the richest thing in sport is to have someone that's scoring goals, and again for the second year in a row we have 2. So when you have that in your arsenal and you've got to play twice in 4 days, you have a chance. You have a chance when it doesn't take a lot for Marcus to create a chance for himself, an opportunity for himself. The athleticism and power that they both have to drive away from defenders and create something out of nothing. You can see it on a game like today where we're familiar with having 60% of the ball and we don't. We're still the team that scores twice. So having that in our arsenal is huge. And I'm very, very happy that they're both here at West Virginia.
Yeah, Marcus, you've been now 3 years with Sergio striking mates. What has it been like this season with you guys scoring at such a high clip?
I mean, it makes it easy playing with someone like Sergio and has 15 goals. Sometimes, like Strat says, I mean, we can both create something out of nothing. So sometimes if Sergio just gives me the ball, he can sit back and watch, and same goes when I give him the ball. And it's great, right? Both of us combined for 25 goals. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? So, yeah.
Dan, how soon after you met with the guys Monday after the selection show did you know that they would be able to meet the challenge of quick turnaround and maybe a little bit of disappointment with the draw?
Yeah, I probably met with the group on Tuesday morning and went from, I was quite honest with them, I went from really angry, really angry, to the, excuse my language, the perfect amount of pissed off. And I think there's a really nice space to live in there. There is, and I told them again after the game today, like, don't forget, like, UVA should be coming here to play us in our first game of the tournament on Sunday. Like, don't forget the chip on the shoulder. Don't forget how we've been overlooked in this tournament. So I think it was necessary to kind of go through the anger, and then it was almost excitement after that, because I've been associated with this university for 20 years, and I think West Virginia is best when it's underestimated. West Virginia is best when it can have a bit of an underdog and I'll show you approach, and that is burning inside of me right now like you have no idea. So we're excited. We had to get through North Florida. We got to do it on a 2-day turnaround. Fine, no problem. We'll do what we need to do, and we'll show Virginia next.
Dan, defense, you guys have been really sound in the postseason, but then there's just been these couple of moments. What needs to be better or different moving forward against Virginia?
Yeah, I think today was a unique game in the context of what they brought. We mentioned it before the game, right? Like, if not for a penalty shootout, they wouldn't have been in the NCAA tournament. So they could kind of approach it with a nothing to lose, be really brave, let's go for it mentality. And we have a burden of pressure that we've been to the Final Four. We've been in the top 10 all year. There would have been, a lot of money on West Virginia being the winning team today. But we're kind of familiar with that. We don't play many games where we're not expected to win anymore. And we kind of live in that pressure, and I think thrive in that pressure a little bit. So, we conceded a goal, that can happen, but thankfully we'd already scored 2. So I don't look at that one moment and I'm overly concerned. This group has shown against a team like Marshall that we can keep a clean sheet twice. I don't think there are any concerns about the quality of what we have defensively. I'll have to look at the goal back to see if there was something we did wrong or whether it was really good play. We'll always continue to look to improve and continue to go through our process even in post-tournament play. Remains to be determined exactly the best answer specific to what happened tonight, but we have incredible faith in what we have defensively here.
Minute management, did you get what you thought you needed?
It would have been nice to go 3-0 up. For the most part, it's so tricky, and it's always a balance because we have a really significant senior class that have played big minutes for us all year, and the last thing they want is for example, Ryan Baer to be on the sideline with 5 minutes to go and it's 2-1, and not feeling like he's in control of his fate as a senior with the program. Yet, there's a part of it where we do have to be mindful of the fact that not only are we playing 4 games in 2 days, but we've just played 3 games in 8 prior to that, and the last one went to overtime only 3 days ago. And Ryan Baer ran over 15 kilometres. So there are parts of that we have no choice but to manage the squad. But as we have many years in a row now, we feel really good about the depth we have, and players stepped up and got minutes tonight for the first time in a long time. Excelli, Weston, 2 freshmen that haven't played in a little bit, and we had no hesitation to call on them, and they should be really take a lot of confidence from that as well.
Marcus, what's it like this year? You know, Coach Strauss kind of talked about that underdog mentality. Last year you were the 5 seed. Now this year probably has that feeling of being underseeded. So what's that like? What's that mindset change like from last year to this year?
I mean, there's like a fire inside of us. I think you could see it throughout the locker room. I mean, you could just see at the selection show if you were there, the look on everyone's faces. And honestly, I don't really care if we were the 5 seed or if we're the seeded that we are now. Honestly, I think that if we just go out there and kill everybody, honestly, I think we'll be good. And I think we could seriously do it. And honestly, we may have needed that. And it shows today after the first one, and Virginia's going to get it too. So, yeah.
Other questions?